Hi everyone, it's Hajarah here, and this is how I met my Ugandan wife. So today it's just me. My husband is not feeling well. He's in the bedroom resting. He has allergies, and when he comes to Uganda, I think because of the dust, it gets to him and it reacts. So he's not feeling well. He's in the bedroom trying to rest after taking medication and taking care of my husband. And yeah. So today I really don't have what to talk about, but I'm going to try to go through my experience and how it is being married to my husband, and the questions I've been getting from other women asking me about how to get a man like him, advice and all that. I'm not really good with advice, but I'm going to share the advice I got from my sisters when I was dating, and the advice I got from my mother-in-law when I think like a few days to our wedding. So when I was dating, I'm that person who really loves too much. I'm clingy. I wouldn't call myself clingy, but I give it all when I'm dating someone. So my sister would always tell me, like, you know what, my married sister, because most of my sisters are already married, and they'll be like, tell me their stories about their experiences when they were still dating. And I remember two of my sisters who have been married for some time, they used to tell me, you don't have to do so much. Like, Hajarah, just relax. You don't have to do so much. If this man loves you, he will show you the direction. And I wish I listened. I wish I listened. I wouldn't have wasted a lot of time with some people. So my advice to single women or someone trying, or maybe still dating someone and trying to get married, is do your part, but you don't have to force or push someone to do things for you. They will totally do it without you even asking, because someone loves you, they will show you direction. They will definitely show you direction, because I remember when I met Brandon, even though it was really long distance and we are not talking that much, it wasn't like we are really forcing things. And once he came and we finally met and all that, I think after like 5 minutes, because he had he had come for 4 days, and then after we met at the airport, was like, I'm extending my ticket without even me asking. And then after we spent that first trip together, I was like, what's your ring size? And really, I wish I listened, of not like, just relax. The person will show you direction where they really want your relationship to go. And the best advice I got from my mother-in-law before getting married, I think we video called them, since we are not really going to make it for the wedding. So we video called them one of the nights. We sat on a dining table and we had this long video call with both my mother and father-in-law. And I remember my father-in-law getting emotional about Brandon getting married. Brandon is a very good man. He's a very good man, and he's a very good child to his parents. He's a really good son, and he loves his mom. So I remember, and his dad, I wouldn't say like that, but I remember in that conversation we were talking to them, my mother-in-law was asking us if we had some counseling before we got married, and I'm like, no, because since we did this for wedding, usually the counseling goes on when we go for the church weddings in Uganda. So when you go for the church wedding, when you go and then you have this counseling on the church. But since we did a civil wedding, we really didn't have any counseling going on. So I remember once she asked us if we had any counseling before getting married, because Brandon was here for over a month. In that time we got married, he was in Uganda for a month. And I'm like, no. So she's like, well, before you get married, make sure you treat your husband the way you would love your father to be treated. And he told Brandon, treat Hajarah exactly the way you would love your mother to be treated. I will never forget that. I'll never forget, because that advice is always running in my head. And I'm like, if Brandon treats me like exactly how he treats his mother, or even half, I wouldn't mind. Or even like a half the way he treats and now his mother, I'll be the happiest woman on this earth, because Brandon loves his mama. He's not, oh, don't get me wrong, he's not a mama's boy. He definitely not. But he loves and respects my mother-in-law. And once she told him that, like, you should treat your wife the way you would want your mother to be treated, after I was like, if Brandon does this, or even half of it, I'll be the happiest woman on earth. And he definitely does. Brandon loves, respects, cares, and he's a gentleman. I don't know what to even tell him. He's a good man. But yeah, that's the best advice I got from my mother-in-law. And with the people asking me, I also want that, I want this relationship, I want someone like that, how do I get it and all that, I think I always answer them like, pray. Like, pray this happens, or pray your man takes the next step, or pray for this. I remember in 2019, when I met Brandon, I was single. I was from a relationship, I was single, and I was going to church, and I was talking to my pastor about everything that was going on and all that. And he's like, Hajarah, you told me, like, your praying side is really low. You need to pray for yourself. So I think that same year when I met Brandon, I was like, this year I'm going to dedicate it and pray for a good relationship, for my life, to have someone who loves me and respects me. And I think that whole year I used to fast like once in every month. I would fast like a week. I would fast like a week in every month. This fasting I would fast and then pray that whole week. So the fast, like, not eating from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I would pray, and I'm like, when I started talking to Brandon, and I'm like, please God, like, if this is my husband, show me that. But if he's not, let him go. Let this thing just end. I just want to have my life figured together, have a job, have a make my own thing going on, and have a good man. And God showed his way. I would say, like, yes, we tried the communication and we put in the work, but I think prayer helps. My husband calls me prayer warrior sometimes. So I could, how are you, my prayer warrior, and all of that. And yeah, pray for yourself, be patient. God takes time, that's for sure. God takes time, but he always shows up. He always shows up, and in the ways you don't even expect. I've never dated someone like Brandon, and I didn't even think I'll get married to someone like Brandon. I'm not saying he's different, I'm just saying like the way we are. Obviously he's American, I'm Ugandan, so I never expected to end up someone that far or from a different country, or like people call him white. I never expected to end up like that, because I had not even never dated someone like him. So I think patience, prayer helps, and even it calms you down, the way you feel, or the pressure and all that. I think when you're praying and believing in God, there is a calmness on you, because there is my friends tells me, Lord, for you ever smiling? Because even in the worst situation, you find me just smiling about it. I'm like, what can I do? There is really nothing I'm going to do about the situation. I just have to relax. There is that calmness that comes to your soul, to your body, to your behavior. Because I think the first time even I got married, I got really pissed with Brandon. He didn't even know I was pissed. I'm like, I'm pissed, and he's like, you're joking. I'm like, I'm really pissed. So it took him even time to realize how pissed I can be, but still I stay in the calm way, or you don't even shout, or even not. Like, I think we've got into 3 or 4 fights, but he always says, are you really pissed? Like, I'm actually pissed, but there is that calmness I have, and that reflects on him, that even when we are into a fight or disagreement, we can sit and just talk about it, but not like overreacting and or shouting. We always find a way to talk out things, not shouting. The last thing is, I think last week I was on TikTok. I wouldn't compare this to anything. I was on TikTok and I saw a woman calling 911. The husband had committed suicide. It's a very touching and sensitive matter. The woman had committed the husband had committed suicide. And today, as Brandon was sick, since yesterday he's been sick, not feeling well, I thought about this. I'm like, I don't know how I would feel or react, or how to move on. Of course you know, or how to move on when this happens in your family, or to your husband, to anyone you know. We don't usually talk about mental issues in Uganda. In Uganda, we are raised in the way that you have to be strong. You don't have to act weak. You don't have to show your weak side and all that. We don't know how to show emotions. Some people do, but I think in Uganda, how we are raised to be strong. There is no weakness. There is no mental breakdown. There is no, you have to be strong, period. You have no other option. So we don't really talk about mental issues or people struggling with anything. So there's Brandon was sick, and sometimes when he gets into or anything, maybe an issue and all that, sometimes our friends or our partners don't talk to us about things they are going through, not because we wouldn't help or listen out, but sometimes they fear they would make us worried. Because I remember one time we were talking to Brandon and he was having issues, and he's like, and he didn't tell me. So after a while he told me, well babe, I was going through this, but I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to get worried. Sometimes they don't tell us not because they don't trust us or they don't believe that we would listen or even find ways, but because they don't, sometimes they feel like they will over get worried, and it ends up like them keeping these things to themselves and not talking and not doing or tell us what they are going through. And what I usually do, like every time I kneel down and pray to God, my prayer is always, God, just help my husband for everything he tells me and the things he doesn't tell me, to help him fight through. Like help my friends, help my family, help everyone. For things they can talk to their friends, and for the things that they can't really talk about, thinking or judge or be worried we won't listen, for God to just help them. There is no other way we can do that. And to any family that lost any friend, a husband, a sister through suicide, I don't know what you're going through. I really don't, and I can't imagine. But my prayers goes out to you for your healing, and for everyone that is going through it and you feel like you can't talk about it to your family, to your friends, to your wife. I think you should, because these people, they hurt more when you're not around, when you're gone. You should open up. Those with pastors, you can talk to your pastor. Everyone has that one friend they really can talk to about anything. You could talk to that person you feel like you won't be judged, or you feel comfortable talking to. And I pray that God helps you. To everyone watching and following us, I pray that the things you can talk to about your family or friends, may God help you through, because there is nothing more we can do about that besides God and you actually opening up and talking about what you're going through. So as I say, today I really have no topic to talk about, but I'll just be going through over and over and over with things I have in my head, or what I've learned or watched, or people ask me about, and all that. So let me go back and check on my sick husband. I love you all. Thank you for watching us.